Hello, and welcome to Meditations for Life with Arya. This is a meditation to help with anxiety, and this is just part one. There will be more. And so make sure you're seated somewhere where you can be undisturbed for about 15 minutes. And then just take a moment and notice your breathing. And don't worry if it's really shallow or short and fast. Let it be what it is. Just notice, observe. And in the process of observing, now see if you can let the breath slow down just 10%. Imagine rubber or taffy, and you're stretching it just a little bit longer. And in stretching it, you slow it down. So you slow down that inhale just a little bit. Start to feel the fullness of breath in your low back. And exhale and let it all go. Every last bit. Track the breath all the way out. And when you're ready for your next inhale, once again, slow it down just maybe even 5% more. Allow the breath to become full and deep. Allow it to fill your low back, the sides of your rib cage, then up into the chest. Savor this breath. Feel the fullness, enjoy it, and then when you're ready, exhale, let it go. And this time track all the breath out, every last bit out of your body. When you've come to the sense of emptiness, no breath, allow your breath to enter one more time, a deep, powerful breath, inhale, and exhale all the breath out. All right, we're ready to begin now. So take a moment and settle your seat. Let your sit bones just rock left and right a few times until you can feel that grounding energy of your sit bones. And then allow that rocking to kind of slow down, almost like a boat, slowly, slowing down until the water underneath it is peaceful. And there might be a slight tilt of that imaginary kind of wave under the water, but nothing tumultuous, nothing that would cause that boat to rock. Just a little sway. And then from the sit bones grounding, take your hands and either place them on your hips or place one hand on your belly and one hand on your low back and just kind of sense what your body needs. I want you to touch the pelvic center. And as you touch the pelvic center, if your hands are on your hips, you're going to be able to feel your breath a little bit less intensely, but you'll be able to feel it in the front and in the back of the pelvis. And if you've got belly and low back, you'll feel the breath a little more intensely. And just for a moment now, feel your own breath. And don't change it. Just allow it to be. Allow the swell and the softening of the inhale and exhale to be. And let the mind observe it. Let the mind observe how breath is moving through your body. And not just moving through your body, but perhaps moving up in the inner channel of the body, from the pelvis up into the sides of the rib cage, up in towards the heart, the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. And now move one of those hands up to your heart center and connect to the heart center and place the other hand over just underneath the navel. And as you connect one hand to the heart center, one hand to the navel, now draw your awareness to those two areas in a way that you can visualize an inner connection. If nothing comes to mind immediately, visualize a tube or even like a tunnel, but a pathway of energy that moves from top to bottom, and it also moves from bottom back to top. And see if you can allow the breath to move very freely through that area, through that channel, through that tunnel, through that tube. And if this tube now wants to broaden and expand, allow it to broaden and expand. So it can be made of a material that's amorphous, right? A material that's not hard, that can breathe, that can widen. And if the inner self is craving a color, fill that tube, fill that channel with something very clear, either clear white or golden yellow like the sun, or maybe a clear shade of rose or a clear shade of gold. Something clear that you can look through if you wanted to. Now with that inner pathway of energy now, let that be. You can keep your hands where they are, or you can remove them from the heart and from the navel center. Imagine around you there is a field of energy. Some people want to use the word aura. If that resonates with you, use that. If you want to think of it more as your electromagnetic field, which we can measure through science, you can use that term, any term that applies to you. So visualize a field of energy around you. And invite that same expansive nature into the field of energy around you. So there's a sense of expansion and a softening. The inner breath, this inner force of chi, prana. And now imagine that you can see yourself from a distance, almost as if you were watching a movie or a film clip. And as you're watching this film clip and you're watching this movie, you can see yourself breathing. You can see both channels of energy very clear. The inner channel, which is just yours. Nothing goes inside there without your permission. The outer channel, that field of energy, which is a little more amorphous, right? It allows things to enter and pass. And then visualize around you is the world as it is. So there is both peace and love, and there's also chaos, depending on where we walk and what we see. And keep the sense of looking out from within, as if you're looking out at yourself. And visualize just for a moment something dark. You can visualize a dark cloud, something gray, maybe even something black, something unpleasant, moving towards your outer field. And as soon as it gets close, I'd like you to visualize that the outer field almost forms like a mirror, and it reflects back against this darkness, and it, boom, bounces away immediately. And then try that exercise again. Try it from a different angle, something coming from almost behind you. But as soon as it comes to that outer field, it's as if a mirror appears and it reflects it back and away. Keep playing with this. Something comes from underneath you. It's reflected away. And then even multiple things coming at you from multiple sides, but the mirror immediately goes up and it reflects them away. Let that be now. Come back to the visualization of the inner channel. Notice that it hasn't changed at all. And the visualization of the outer field, which may have changed, but it's still clear and strong and open. And take a gentle inhale. Notice on your exhale, you can release out through your outer field. And try that again. As you inhale gently, draw energy in. And as you exhale, notice you can release that back out through your outer field. A second visualization. Now visualize something that's warm and comforting and loving. An activity, a person, a memory from the past. As it comes towards you, now it's your choice. You can allow your field to be permeable and draw that into your space. Or if it's not the right time for that energy, you can also reflect it right back. And this is your choice. Play with these images that come at you. Play with the one coming from the side. And notice what your intuition says. Do I want to allow this in? Or is it something that's warm but needs to stay on the outside of me? Play with different images coming from underneath, from the side, from above. And notice what your reaction is. And then again, take another gentle inhale. And as you exhale, notice how you can release from your field. Okay, so now we're going to play with both. Find an image that is comforting, that is loving, that gives you, that nourishes you, that gives you life, that gives you chi, that makes you feel calm. And pick one of the images that in that previous meditation, part of our meditation, that would create a sense of anxiety or fear or disgust, repulsion. And place one in front and place one behind you. And this is to practice when things come at us that are unexpected, how you can practice letting in what you choose and releasing out what you don't like. And imagine now both of them coming at you at once. And practice allowing one part of you to be permeable and one part of you to form a mirror and expel. And this is just practice, right? This is just all right now a practice in our mind just like an athlete practices for an event. So if the negative image gets closer than you wish, you just try again. Switch sides. The one that you had in front, put it in back. The one you had in back, put it in front, and practice again. Both coming at you, allowing that regenerative essence to come in, allowing the repulsive essence to be pushed out. And now practice switching again, maybe side to side or top and bottom. One comes at you from one end, one comes at you from the other end, and just practice. It should get easier to allow one in and one to release out. Now this is called, it's a psychic mirror exercise. And it's one for holding energies at bay, allowing what we want inside, everything else at bay. And then the third part of this meditation, I'd like you to imagine now just those things that cause fear, just those things that actually cause anxiety, even if they don't have a name, even if it's just an essence, even if it's just a color. And imagine them surrounding you, surrounding that outer field to the point where it almost becomes fearful, to the point where you almost want to jump up and run, right? Or dive into the ocean or get under that shower. And then imagine, this is going to sound funny, but it's almost like a vacuum hose. And you're just going to vacuum all of them away. Quite literally, suck them out from around you. And visualize them being vacuumed up, sucked away. And then I'd like you blow from the inside, blow some of your exhale onto that essence. You don't have to physically blow, but visualize this expelling of energy from you, and it pushes that away, away, away. Come back now to one hand on the heart and one hand on the navel. So these are practices for energies that you have a sense of coming at you. Then there are those energies that arise from within, from the past trauma, from past experience, from memories that come flooding up with no warning, from fears that haven't been met but the mind visualizes in their worst state. And with one hand on your heart and one hand on your navel, visualize any of that darkness, any of that kind of dark cloud, any of that negativity that's inside of you, going into that inner tube, that inner channel of energy, and it completely being transformed. And on one hand, we know everything is energy. We know energy can't be created or destroyed, but it can change. So visualize that inner channel almost like a cleansing bath. And anything that resides within that feels like it's stuck to you, I want you to draw in there and let it move back and forth until it becomes as clear as the color of that channel. Now from here, you can continue with that for as long as you wish. We're going to come to completion. So the first act is sealing the energetic centers. Imagine the pelvic center closing. Not closing like you're clamping it tight, like it'll never open again, but like a gentle seal. Like almost like you're just putting the lid on something. Imagine the heart center full of love, full of compassion for yourself, full of love for those that are closest to you. Also, just closing for the moment, just being sealed. And then moving a little outwards, imagine that external field of energy also just being sealed from the outside world. And then just for a moment, imagine those mirrors popping up as soon as they need to, quickly, and disappearing. And then from here, take your breath a little deeper. Breathe into the heart center, breathe into the pelvic center, expand your breath, expand your awareness. Exhale completely and fully. And draw your awareness even further back into the physical body. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely and fully. And if you want to sort of blink your eyes open a little, stretch one arm, stretch one leg, do so now. Inhale, come back into your physical space. Notice your surroundings. And exhale completely and fully. Namaste.